So what is the best way to use GovScraper? I'm going to walk you through step by step how our company uses this to put in about 50 quotes per week, because we're saving the time from the research of each RFQ and just focusing more on those vendor relationships. So the first thing we do when we log into the system is we come to our dashboard, as you see right here. What I would want to do first is I want to look at exactly how many RFQs am I ready to source. So being that this is a demo account, we have a very large number that is here, but this is going to allow me to see all the new opportunities the system has placed inside. So what I want to do here, as you can see right here, the filters, it automatically filters the contract status to new opportunity. But my goal first, when I come into the office, log into GovScraper and pull up this area, I want to knock out all of the contract status from new opportunity and see exactly what I want to do next. So first thing I do is I open up the first RFQ. I take a look at the information and I want to determine, do I want to change the status to will source, or am I saying this is not worth my time and we'll relabel this as a no bid? So I'll go through this, see the item, see it's the small business. This is the part right here. It's for $122,000. Let's just say theoretically I have relationships with these manufacturers. Keep scrolling down and I see exactly the quantity. So looking at this, what was that, 30 seconds? I made the determination that I do want to source this item. I will pursue this moving forward. So I want to relabel this as a will source. Then I have two options. I can click off to the side to go back to the screen, or I can just swipe right, click on that button up here, and it'll bring me to the next new opportunity. Do exactly the same thing. Look at this one, see the amount, see the company's RFQs, procurement history, see what they're wanting. I like this one as well. So I'll label that as a will source. We'll do one more. And coming up to the next one right here, I see this, looking at this contract, small business, see the PR number starts with a 100. We see the award amount is less than $2,000, no manufacturers required. Pretty good history here. But looking at this one right here, question I need to ask myself, is this really worth my time to pursue? So because of no manufacturers required, I'd have to do my legwork to figure out exactly who I should go to. But the anticipated award amount being less than $2,000 probably would say this is going to be a no bid. So really what we're trying to do initially is taking all of the RFQs that start out as a new opportunity and relabeling them to either will source or no bid. Once that's all taken care of, what I want to do is I want to go back to the main screen that you see right here. And all of these contract statuses should either say will source or no bid, and none of them should say new opportunity anymore. Once I've gone to that, what I want to do is I want to go to my contract status, and I just want to show ones that I say that I am going to source. So I'm going to label that as a will source. And as you can see right here, these are the ones that I said that I will source. I'll click on the first one. And now I actually want to send out my quotes to my vendors, whomever they might be. So as we saw the one right here, so I'm going to send this one out. So I'm going to click on vendor. So right here, I'm going to put, we'll say Bristol Industries. Type of vendor is a manufacturer. The part number, I'll copy the part number here, paste it there. Quantity is 993 pieces. So I'm going to write 993 EA. And I'm going to send out an email because of the lead time and the price. Those are the two things that I need to get from this vendor. But I always want to make sure I press save. By pressing save, as you see right here, it shows manufacturing reference created successfully, and it'll show me my last update that I made to this section. So today's date is December 10th right there. If this gets pretty long, maybe that it's a week past, so let's just say actually this was December 2nd, then I need to know that I need to be the one to follow up because Bristol has not gotten back to me. Then what you can do is you have two options. One, if you've already integrated your email into the system, you would click on email and then you would go through the process. Or what you would do then is just pull up your email system and then send out the quote. For those of you that do not have their email integrated yet, I'm going to show you exactly what you would be doing. It would be much quicker to do it through email integration, but you can also do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up an email with my email system, go over to my templates. So this is the template that I use. And whenever I am going to send out a quote, one of the things that I always want to make sure is inside of the subject line, I want to put two things. Number one, I want to put the part. So I'm going to get the part and just copy that part right here. Go back to my email and paste that part in on the subject line. And also I'm going to put it inside of the body of the email. So I'm doing it right there. I'm going to put it right here. So just paste. I want to put the quantity. So the quantity, as you see right here, is 993. So I'm going to write 993 EA. There is no FAT, no PLT. So I'm going to delete that. And then also what I want to do, and what's very important and will help you to be more efficient, is I always want to make sure I copy this ID number up here. Copy this ID number allows me to put that in the subject line near an asterisk like I do right there. So when that vendor does respond to my quote, I can quickly reference what RFQ that email attaches to. And I can use the filters. And if you need more assistance on the filters, you can go into the filters video. So I'm going to send out my quote to bristol@gmail.com. I don't know. And then I will send it out. Once I send it out, it's no longer a will source because I've sent out my quote to Bristol. I am now sourcing. So I want to click on sourcing and I am now waiting for my vendor as well as my packaging here. If I want to add my packaging, great. I can click on add a row, put my packaging house. So men sourcing, packaging, and then I want to save that as well too. So now when they do respond to me and give me both Bristol's pricing for the price and the lead time and men sourcing does it for packaging, I then want to make sure I check these boxes off. Then eventually what's going to happen is both Mend is going to get back to me. So let's just say they say it's going to be $350 to package, and Bristol says that it's going to be 20 weeks to get the parts, and the cost is going to be $128.54. So I want to press save. That is now saved. So now that I have my packaging cost inside, I have my manufacturer part cost ready. What I want to do is I want to click on where it says ready to bid. By clicking on ready to bid, everything moves over to the left, and this comes over from the right, which is your price bid sheet. Now this is a great tool to use that allows you to determine exactly what your price should be, focusing on your profit as well as your margin. So let's do just that. So inside of here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what the quantity requested. So as I see right here, the government wanted 993 pieces. So I'll put 993. And always remember that we're talking about the unit of issue that is here. If this said 993 HD, it would still be 993 up here. So always make sure that it's the unit of issue that you're putting here. I want to put the vendor cost for the unit of issue. So it's 128.54, as you see right here. And it tells me what my total vendor cost will be. Now, how much does it cost to ship the parts to me? That's now a conversation I need to have with Bristol, but let's just say $250. Mend Sourcing has given me a cost for the packaging, which is $350. If there's any other miscellaneous costs, such as CERT cost or whatever, you want to put it here, FAT cost and whatnot, PLT cost and whatnot, but add those if you need to, but the system's going to tell you what your total cost is. So after the dust settles and I played all of my suppliers, the total amount out of pocket to me was $128,000. So what the system does is it tells you what your total cost is, but also your break-even price. So it's taking the 128, dividing it by the 993 to give you what your break-even price will be. So now I can determine what my bid price should be. So I can play around with different numbers. So let's just try 134.58. If this is going to be my bid price, a few different things it'll show me, automatically calculate what the award amount will be. It'll tell me what my profit is and what my margin is. Now, different schools of thought about exactly how you want to go about doing it. Maybe you want to focus on having a specific dollar amount for profit. Maybe you want to have a margin of maybe 10, 15%. Whatever it is, you can determine what your bid price is and just play around with numbers. So like this, let's just say theoretically that's what I want. So my bid price now is going to be $137.58. If that's the case, I want to press save. I press save, and as you see up at the top into this bid price area right here, it shows me what my number is going to be. I can change the delivery days. So let's just say it was 20 weeks. So we'll just say 150 days to give it a little bit of extra time. Press save. Now what I do up here is I have all of my information that I need. I have my Bristol as my supplier. I have my bid price and my delivery days. And now I can complete my bid. So typically from here, what we do is throughout the day, I'm going to be getting my pricing back, but I'm not going to go into DIBBS right away. At the end of the day, what I'll do is I'll come back to the filter section and I'll just want to see the items that I have labeled as pricing in, ready to bid. Now, what I do is I have a list of all of the bids that I will complete using the DIBBS system. I'll go into DIBBS, the only time I do that, and then I want to make sure once that bid is completed, I want to relabel my status from ready to bid complete. And that's exactly what we do each and every day.